how is the dating scene right now for you, Mike?
Is there a shotgun around here?
Well,
So,
no,
well, no, I
I've
mean
never had this
it's
conversation
not
with you.
that.
I'm not trying to.
It's
It's different.
well, the first off, the dating scene is different. Secondly, when I moved out to Bandera, out into the middle of nowhere, I purchased I was purchasing married person property without being a married person, right? Because like there's no dating scene out there.
Unless you want someone with like 2 teeth.
And I don't have the same.
It's Tennessee's thing. Leave alone.
There's a couple other things. I haven't had the drive because I've been very much enjoying like working on my land and doing this.
Doing
So I
what I
haven't been
want, when
I
I
haven't
want.
been dedicating time to dating. And I also don't want to date the way that I used to date, because the way that I used to date was I
Take a
would go to
number.
the bar. Well, no, I would go to the bar, right? And then what would you discover down the road is what y'all had in common was the
The
bar.
bar. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. So, the online dating scene is all sorts of fucked up, right? Because we've got low quality women who think that that they deserve high
I
quality
could
men.
take your man at any time.
They think that
Yeah.
they deserve men who have six figures.
High
who are
6 figures.
High six
High
figures.
6 figures.
Higher than me 6 figures. Like when I say 6 figures, I'm
We're in
talking
trouble,
like
Nick. We ain't there. We
300,000.
ain't there yet, man.
First
Unattainable
responders
standard.
dream of 6 figures.
Well, less than 5% of the American
It's any of the
populace
6 figures, really,
makes
man.
over
Any of the 6 figures.
500,000.
And
What
they
they think.
and they need to be 6 feet tall,
6 plus.
6 plus. And that 6, by the way, keeps rising. It's like 6.
Oh yeah, the number keeps growing.
6'5", and
This
it's
money,
like
this type of house, this type of car.
they need to have a car, they need to have a home, they need to have this career, they need to have all these things, and then it comes down to, and a buddy of mine was showing me a podcaster, and I think this podcaster passed, but he would interview these women, and these women would have all these high expectations, and he would be like, "What are you bringing to the table?" And she'd be like, "Well, she had 3 kids, and she had, she was no longer very attractive because she was, well into like her
Looking like
her
Jabba the Hutt.
late 30s or 40s. She wasn't in shape. She wasn't, she's not bringing anything to the table, but she expects these, high unobtainable
These
men,
high echelon.
these
Yeah.
men who are literally 0.01% of the population, and it's like, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't know what you're doing. So that's the dating scene, and I do blame dating apps, because dating apps gave these women
Unrealistic standards.
they gave them a false impression of what the world is really like. Because they have all these men hitting them up, because all these men want to hook up with them. But here's the real question.
How many are staying there? With them?
How many of these men want to marry them? Right?
Or is it a
Because
smash and pass.
I don't just want to fuck around.
Just lay my
right?
seed everywhere.
Like, I do want to get married. I do want to be in a stable relationship. I do want, and I don't need someone who is financially functioning at my level. I don't need a businesswoman. I don't need a bad bitch. I don't need any of this shit, right? Like, I don't.
I love the terminology. That's funny.
I mean,
Right?
But that's
That's the truth.
But that's the bill of goods that's being sold nowadays, right? Is these young women are being told that you need to be successful in your career and fuck guys, and you need to be a bad bitch because that's what you need to be. But I don't want that.
I mean, you see in TV shows now, those bad bitches. It was like smash and pass. It was like you can leave now. It was like it'll be the next morning. It was like the female to the male. You can leave now. So you're just a quick thing for me, just enough to get me my rocks off, and then I'm going back about my business. Like that's what we're advertising and showing right now.
But by the same token, what they're not showing is that woman is then sitting there in her 40s wondering why
nobody loves me.
no
Nobody
one
wants
no
to be
one wants
with
to
me.
be with
Where
her.
all the good guys are at.
Yeah, where's all the good
we're
guys?
all the good guys.
It's like,
We're
well,
all the guys with traditional values. And
40
it's like,
guys ago, you missed it.
but I mean, that's the other thing we've talked about is like, when your number and when your kill count is so high,
Got a football team.
and you're shocked when these guys don't have an interest in you. Why are you shocked?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
So I mean, that's the world we're living in right now, and I don't know. It's just not. It's not great. It's not a great place to live. You know.
So, to piggyback on that, how do you think the dating scene in modern America can be fixed? Or even if it can be fixed, like, what do you. Because personally, I think I agree with you. I believe that apps, social media in general, has created a society of instant gratification. It's created a society of they'll see something on a screen, and I don't know the scientific terminology for it, but they see something on the screen, and they want to look and be the best, so they apply filters to make them look and appear the best, and it's not real. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
we live in a society where
Everything's
what we
fake.
see on a screen isn't real all the time.
So, Keeper, do we want to do it? Do you want to make this king for an issue?
We could make that king for an issue. How do we fix the dating scene?
How do we fix America's dating scene?
Yeah.
And you
So,
brought it up.
You
so
brought it up,
you
so
can
go ahead and start.
You know, I believe it goes back to what we spoke about a little bit during the break about where do you draw your morals from? What is your moral? What is a lot of people individual moral law? And I think America right now, in where it's at morally, what was seen 20 or 30 years ago as a lie is now viewed as the truth for the most part. You know?
Are we talking about the nuclear family?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
figured that's where you're going with it. Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I really believe that the discrimination of the nuclear family, so to speak, um, you know, moms and dads separated in different rooms, kids separated in different rooms, all glued to a screen, um, losing their sense of love for each other, lost in the world of technology, so to speak. Because obviously technology isn't evil, but it's how you use the technology, right?
Yeah.
That is, I
It's
believe,
like any tool.
like any tool, how you use a tool. So I really think to go back to the dating focus of this conversation, I really think it really starts at the home. It really starts at the level of mothers and fathers teaching their children how to love, how to talk, how to hold a conversation, and mothers instilling upon into their daughters the values of what it is to be a mother. You spoke about it right now, Mike, about how you don't need a bad bitch. You don't need someone who, makes six figures. I mean, that's obviously cool, like that's awesome and that's dandy, but it's not a requirement for you. You want someone that you can share life with and
Yeah.
enjoy that with,
Yeah.
right? And I believe you're going to find someone like that, and I believe that girl is going to be someone who was taught by her mother how to be a good wife, how to be a good mom, right? And stuff like that, man, stuff that's passed down like that from generation, that lineage from that mother teaching that little girl applies directly to the little boys that are being raised up right now, glued to a screen, not knowing how to be a man, right? And that how does that fall into us as dads, for the three of us that are here that are dads, being present in our sons' lives and reminding ourselves, hey, the type of man that he's going to be is based on how I am raising him to be. The
Right.
type of man my daughter's going to look for as her husband is going to be the type of man that I'm being a representation to her right now. So for me, having 78 and a half kids, I have my days where I look at my kids and I'm like, man, that's a little me. She's looking at me as a man that she's going to be looking for when she grows up.
I'm
So,
so sorry.
dude, it's a lot of it's a lot of
Cap.
it's a lot, yeah, it's a lot, and I think the dating scene has a lot to do with the current state of the dating scene has a lot to do with the breakdown of the modern nuclear family, so to
Yeah.
speak, that a lot of us grew up with, so post World War II.
Well, I mean, but like realistically, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't necessarily grow up with the nuclear family because my parents got divorced
2 daddies and a mommy.
Yeah,
and I was purchased. Keeper, I guess you actually did grow up with a nuclear family.
I did grow up with a nuclear family.
Yeah.
Petrov, did you grow up with a nuclear family?
Yes,
Yeah, I did
Dasha.
actually.
Eddie, did you?
what were you gonna say, Pedro?
A quote I really like is really be the person that your dog thinks you are, really carries you far, because they see this unfiltered. I'm going somewhere with this. Hang on. So there's a whole lot of complexities that go on with the whole nuclear family thing. You know, it's everything from TV shows. It makes it seem like the kids are smarter than the parents versus the other way around. To where it's like dad's not really needed, as opposed to, honestly, for being real, you know, you need every component, mom, dad, and everything in the middle. It takes balance, all things moderation, balance. You know, you can't do it one sided.
I mean, there does seem, and I'm not. This is my piece necessarily, but there does seem to be a destruction of the image of the father figure in modern media because the image of the father figure in modern media seems to be the bumbling dad.
I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say the discrimination of just masculinity in general. Men can't be men.
That's
would,
seeing
I would
a
push it
turnaround.
beyond that. It's men and women. If you are straight on either state
Yeah.
of it, if you are straight, we don't want you in it.
If you are a feminine woman acting feminine,
We don't want you in it.
if you're a masculine man asking masculine,
We don't want you in it.
and I
that's-
think this is all actually seeing a turnaround
I do
relatively
think-
recently.
I do think
Relatively
it's
recent.
being modified slowly. Yeah.
Kevin, what about you? How would you
Gorbachev.
how would you
You tell me, Sasha. What would you do?
Nobody got the Mr.
That one
Robot.
starts with an S. That's not even close.
Sasha.
That
Anakin, how would you fix this?
Thank you.
One of us has killed Anakin.
he's dead now.
Do you have the high ground?
How did it shoot?
What the fuck is the question?
we have segment. Honestly,
How would you fix the dating scene in America as it currently is and the struggles? Because it's not just me; it's a lot of the younger generation. One of my coworkers, he says that his sons are struggling with a lot of the same thing. Right?
Surprised me.
Honestly, I got married before the dating apps even really came about.
But
But that's kind of the theme now, is that everything's all online. It's quick.
I met
and
my
it's-
wife on a dating app.
I think.
Yeah, and sometimes it works out for the best.
hold on, Petrov has this.
Go ahead, Petrov.
Come on, Kilgore.
So obviously, there's cases where it works out, you know. So I don't know if I really know enough to weigh in on the whole app thing. That's just kind of where we're at.
You
but-
know, you don't necessarily need to know, but you need to know that there is an issue.
What
with
were
the
you
dating
looking for?
scene.
A decent pizza maker?
I do like
Someone with a
pizza.
decent oven?
So you know, everybody looks for their own brand of weird, and you find that weird that matches yours. And honestly, I found mine. So you know, everybody out there who is looking for that, you know, if you try, it's kind of a balance, right? Like, so you have to be intentional, but you can't be too intentional. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
No, I know what you're saying.
No, I got it. I was
Yeah.
being a dick.
yeah, right. So
Ooh, daddy.
like, you have to find somebody who matches you. But that's kind of a hard thing to
Not if you use eHarmony. Anyway.
You don't have to be
a
lonely.
future sponsor.
Listen, I'm gonna try farmers.com next. all
There you
right?
go.
Farmers only is actually
Farmers
don't fall for
only.
don't fall for the knockoffs.
I too use 23andMe to find my
23andMe.
family. she'd make a great wife.
If anyone's having sex with my sister, it's gonna be me.
So Tristan doesn't have a real.
He's too far removed.
Yeah, he's too far removed.
Was that twice removed now? By today's standards?
Oh.
3
I have no
times?
idea.
Keeper, what do you
I
think?
use dating apps. I was very specific in what I was looking for. So I mean, I do think they have a staple, a value, if you're honest in it. If you're honest
If
with
you're
the dating
honest.
apps. If you're honest with how and what you're looking for, I do think they have value there. But now everyone's using all these filters, all these Snapchat filters or Instagram filters, so you look somewhere different. Like, oh wow, she looks attractive, and then she comes to wherever you're gonna eat or hang out, and you're like, I did not know
Or-
I was meeting
It's like you
freaking
never
Jabba
date
the
a
Hutt.
woman you met on a ski slope.
Or they use a photo from 10 years ago.
Or they
Or-
use them in the photo, but they're in the background.
Or they use a filter.
Or even
right.
AI. AI changes so much these days.
Yep.
You could change
Well, shoot,
anything.
you take a picture of your kid
So-
now and you post online.
But you're not really solving the problem.
I didn't have a problem with it.
You have no problem with the dating scene currently, not when you were dating. Currently dating.
I don't know. I'm not dating now.
How would
That's
you
a
fix the
great
problem,
answer.
Mike?
I can't fix something I'm not a part of.
You can. You can.
Fine, get rid
fix-
of it. You know what? Let's do arranged marriages, arranged dating.
See, that's actually an answer.
My few.
No, I'm serious. Because
And that works in a lot of
if
countries.
I had a vote on this, it was like, look, let me give you a list of like 30 people that meet this criteria in your age group. Boom, build your criteria list. Here you go. Here's a list of these people in the area, in the age group. Meet all these people. See who you like the best, and whoever both grades the highest between the two of you guys start arranged dating. And you know, it works for everyone else, but love is something that you have to daily decide to. I'm going to love my wife every day.
Yeah, you got
Because hands out, there's some days it's like, fucking try me. I've had like 2 hours of sleep. I'm gonna Sudoku you, and we're gonna do numbers hard today.
Sometimes you want to get a
'Cause-
phone book.
Because I got like 20% power in this relationship right now. And she'll be like, okay, well I'll pull your 30% and my 50%. So she's pulling 80% because I'm dragging ass. So I mean, it's a decision.
Sounds horrible. Gosh, I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? There's some days where VA gets me, disability, and I'm just done. I don't want anything. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Didn't sleep. I mean, for me personally, arranged marriages, arranged dating, I think would have a huge factor in fixing a lot of things.
So, I intentionally let all you go first for obvious reasons, right?
Because I have the answer.
Well, no, I don't necessarily have the answer. But I think I have a piece.
Go ahead.
I think a piece of the answer is that everyone needs to stop looking for the perfect person.
No, agreed.
100%.
I agree.
And because how often are people, not just online, but in person, how often have you talked to someone and they're like, well, they had this red flag. And it's like, I mean, that wasn't really a red flag, or that was one small issue.
They put
or-
a cup on the side of the sink.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay. Obviously, they're fucked up. I'm not saying that you grab every fixer upper that's out there, right? However,
Don't put your dick in crazy.
well, I mean, no. Even then, I disagree because,
Oh, I'm aware.
yeah, well, no. Seriously, though, is because what are we labeling as crazy? Because
My
apparently
crazy is different than your crazy.
everyone is fucking crazy.
Everyone's
if you
crazy
talk-
to an extent.
Yeah,
everyone has their
is
own.
fucking crazy. But stop looking for perfection.
Because there's
And
not.
realistically, and I think I actually read this in a novel, right? And
Oh.
but what it was is it's like
the West.
you're not you're not
Howdy.
looking for the perfect person.
Yeah.
You're looking for the person
you.
That you can deal with
who you can accept
with
their
flaws.
flaws and they can accept your flaws. Because this is a two-way street.
Yeah, it
You're
takes-
not the main character.
takes two to
You're not
tango.
leading this. You are a partnership.
You
Yeah.
two complete each other.
And you're supposed to complete each other. And if you walk into this thinking that you are one person and you're not trying to become one existence,
A union.
then a union, then you are going about this the wrong way. Stop trying to look for the perfect person. Stop trying to look for someone who has giant tits and a huge ass and it has the perfect personality, or who is 6 feet tall and 6 figure.
With a
Stop
donkey
trying
dick.
to look for someone who fucking hits every check mark, and look for someone who hits a couple of the key ones,
And you can work on it.
and you
throughout.
can work everything else out. Because guess what? You're
You're not gonna find it.
You're not gonna find it. You're not the 0.00001% who's going to find the 0.00001%.
Yeah.
How are you still single?
How are you still single, Mike? You're a catch. If I was
What's
gay-
your social media handle?
Oh, there we go. We have to- I said it. So I said all the time. I
No
was like,
shit, you
bro,
hit
if
all
I
the
was
nails on
gay-
the head.
I was gay.
If I was gay.
You've got it, man.
I'd let you to get buy me a Coors